what up, guys? So this is my first attempt at trying to speak on one subject at a time. So recently I've heard a lot of girls saying that they're not making as much money on, what do you want to call this website? Because everybody has a different name. I'll call it the spicy site because I don't know what else to call it. But apparently you're not allowed to say the name or the syllables unless you want to get deleted. So, like I said, a lot of girls feel like they're not making as much money now. So I've seen a podcast recently that made me want to speak on it. This guy was saying it's, a lot of girls going from influencer to real estate. And I just want to say real estate is not for you. And here's why. So a lot of girls, I guess, which I knew this was going to happen eventually. I always say, what do you think would happen if out of nowhere, just all this disappeared, right? And there was no more of this. What would a lot of girls do? Because think about it. A lot of girls now have money, but they didn't have this money 4 years ago. 2020, around the pandemic time, is when people really started to go hard and everything changed. Now, girls that were just like fitness influencers just a few years ago are full-blown corn stars now, like doing it full time and really going mainstream with it. Like something a lot of people never planned to do, but thanks to a great website that has helped a lot of people, a lot of people's lives went in a whole different direction. And I just want to say, when you're used to, because we got very spoiled. We got used to making a lot of money very quickly with pretty much doing nothing. Like when I first started mine, it was around the pandemic, and I don't know. I wasn't, like when I first made mine, I didn't really think anybody was going to subscribe. So when people subscribe right away because of the way I did it, it was basically like I was making fun of girls that did that, and then out of nowhere made a website. And they're like, wait, but you said you'd never do that. I never said I would never do that. I make fun of girls who do it. But let me remind you, my comedy, a lot of it is making fun of myself. Like I've put a lot of my own situations out there. If you don't know how to laugh at yourself, you're not going to be good at this. But anyway, so a lot of girls are thinking, okay, what's my next step? And do I want to do a podcast? A lot of people don't know how to speak or don't have nothing to talk about. So they're like, okay, I'm going to start doing real estate. So I've seen so many girls trying to get their real estate license recently or doing it. And the reason it's not for you is because you're not going to work as hard as you need to. So I think real estate is the same thing as kind of like being an actress. I've seen so many people in acting school do it because they think it's the easy way out. Like, oh, I'm just going to be an actor. Being an actor is very hard. It might seem easy, like, oh, you get to be famous, you get to like shoot movies and be on set all day, but nobody really understands, like, I don't know how to the mental anguish that comes with it. Being on a movie set is probably one of the hardest things to do. It's like acting is not easy, and it takes a lot out of you mentally, physically. You have to really dive in to do it with anything, really. With this website, I feel like everybody got very lazy. Like there was a point where I was working 1 day a week for 2 hours, and the rest of the week I was just smoking weed, chilling, just enjoying life. And that's not good because that's not how society works. A lot of people, they have to get up at 5 a.m. every day to be at work by 7. They have to take transportation, and life ain't easy. This kind of made life so much easier. But here's why real estate is not for you. So anytime I've heard girls saying things like, oh, I'm in school studying to be a real estate agent, I'm like, you don't study to be a real estate agent. First of all, you're not going to learn nothing from going to school to be a real estate agent. So I have my phone here in case I want to Google something or in case I forgot. But so I checked how many hours do you have to complete to even be able to take the exam. So right now in New York, let's talk about New York because I was a real estate agent before I started doing this. So I feel like I could really speak on it. In New York, you have to complete 77 hours to become a salesperson. So once you've completed 77 hours of a course, means you come to class every day and you just sit there. You don't even have to listen. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh, I'm in school studying to be a real estate agent." It takes 2 weeks if you're doing it full time, which is what I did, to get that completed. And the hardest part is taking the test. So the problem with the test is, for a salesperson, I think you get 90 minutes. If you're trying to be a broker, you get a 2.5 hours. And the broker exam is way harder, and you can't even become a broker until you've been a real estate agent for some time. Unless you're live restrict what? And see, this is why I don't like going live on TikTok at the same time as, did you ever go to a Diddy party? Sorry, I have not. But this is why I don't like being live on TikTok as I do with other sites at the same time. TikTok is too sensitive for me, but whatever. So okay. In order to take the exam, you need 77 hours. So you complete that within 2 weeks of just going to class. You could either take morning, afternoon, or night. I think I was doing just all day. I would come in early in the morning and I would just stay. I would get a break and I would come back. But I was trying to finish this as fast as possible. Once you get to take the test, here's the problem. If you fail, you have to wait another month to take it again. So that's the only real issue. You could take the test as many times as you want, but my father was like, yeah, you got one chance. The way my father pushes me is basically like, he'll say, if I don't get it done, he'll be like, oh, well, then you can't be my daughter. We gotta go get a blood test or something, because my daughter would have got it in one chance. So I already know that's how he is. You have to just be the best at everything, or at least try. But my dad always reminded me that growing up, a lot of teachers would say, she's really smart and she knows what she's doing if she tried. She just doesn't try. When I try, it's good. So, okay, so let's pretend you do get the test the first time you take it. The crazy thing is, when it comes to real estate, you don't even know how many chances a person had. So I don't even get to know if my real estate agent took the test 45 times or twice. But the most important thing when it comes to real estate is how long a person's been doing this for, and if they grew up where they do it. So me being from New York, you have to know where everything is, meaning like you have to know your way around. It's definitely better to have a car, but it would make more sense if you took cab everywhere. Like at this point, let me think. If I had to start today, how would I do it? I mean, that's besides the point. My point is that while you're in school learning whatever they're teaching you, and you learn a lot, like they pretty much teach you what a house is made up of. Like you have to literally know like the material they use to even make a home if you're trying to sell one. Like you have to be able to know the square footage, how much it's going for, how much it used to, how much it sold for, how much everything else in the building sold for. Like it takes a lot. So if you have a bad memory, automatically the job is not for you. If you're not great at math, not for you. If you're not good at paperwork, if you're not good at organizing, if you're not just intelligent or have common sense, real estate is not going to work for you. In order to be good at real estate, you have to literally be one of those people that does not know what no means, and you cannot give up. It's going to be the same way with acting, but real estate's probably even harder. I think the reason I was good at real estate is because before, when I used to act and I used to do music videos, I have a lot of experience of going to auditions and hearing the word no. You have to hear no 100 times before you get one yes. And I've heard many no's, but I've learned that in order to get a yes, a lot of times with anything, even modeling, your personality is what's going to get you to the job, nothing else. Like you can't fuck Oh, here we go. I cursed one time. TikTok is gonna cry right now. You cannot F your way to the top. You could only F your way to the bottom. But that's with any business, but especially. The point is, in class, you're not going to learn nothing about real estate. You only start really learning once you get out into the field. Once you pass your exam, which was the greatest feeling ever, because as soon as I saw that I passed, I called my dad and I told him I failed just to hear his response. And he was like, oh, well, you said you could take the exam in a month, right? And I was like, I didn't fail. Are you crazy? Only because at the time I was really studying every single day. And every day I would take 2 hours where I wouldn't even have a phone. I wouldn't, have any distractions. I would put an alarm clock. And for 2 hours, I would just sit there with index cards and get every answer. They ask you so many questions. I don't remember specifically what the questions were, but I do remember that I did not know anything. I was like, wait. I didn't even study this part. So what I had to do was, the reason I passed the exam is the rule of elimination. I knew what everything else was. So it seems like I always get like the short end of the stick when it comes to tests. Like they always put this stuff in the test that I don't even know. I'm like, what is this? So I had to just say, okay, I know it's not that. I know it's not this. So I passed just from knowing what it wasn't, if that makes any sense. But I really studied, and I didn't want to hear my dad being like, oh, you couldn't pass it, whatever. Once you get into the field, y'all don't even know how hard it is. First of all, you have to be the first one in the office and the last one out of the office to be successful. It's not like $1 million deal where you just go show an apartment and you get a $300,000 commission. That never happens, especially when you're first starting out. A lot of people that get their license, most people don't make it 2 years, let alone what? Most people, I think somebody told me in school, 90% of people that get their license do not renew it after 2 years. So my goal was always, no matter what, I have to renew my license. So as soon as I got it, you have to pick what agency you want to go to. And I went with City Habitats, which was a great place for me. I don't remember why I chose. I think I wanted to go to Kellen Heller, but what I decided to do was start at City Habitats and then I could move to Kellen, whatever. So when I first started, it was so hard. So you have to show, let's say, okay, so you have to put ads out. The only way to get those ads is to go to those apartments, take photos, and the photos have to be nice. And then you put them, you have to make your own ads. From what I remember, and this was almost 6 years now that I was doing real estate. Yeah, it's been 6 years. This is the longest I've ever done anything. But so you have to basically go to, and these apartments are, it could be Brooklyn, Queens, Upper East Side, whatever. Like, I think I started in the Lower East Side or Gramercy, and it was so many terrible apartments. I think there was like a myth about an apartment that had a toilet in the middle of the living room that I really wanted to see. Now, there's so many New York apartments that are terrible, but I'll never forget this one. I think this should have been illegal. I don't know how they let me do this, but somebody was renting an attic pretty much. It didn't have a window, so I'm like, how is this legal? It was $600 a month, and they need to see everything, your pay stubs. If you don't have money, you need to get a guarantor, so your parents have to be your guarantor. Another goal of mine was to buy an apartment without needing a guarantor. Like, if I could buy something without having my dad hold me down, like, yeah, I got her, if anything. That was my goal, is to buy or rent something without needing his help. Because I always felt like, well, I always got my dad, but that's not a good attitude to have, So you don't want to pick an apartment that everyone else is looking at, because let's say you go take pictures of this apartment, and before you even have a chance sometimes at putting the photos on your ad that you're creating, someone else already rented. So you want to go somewhere where as soon as it hits the market, you want to be like one of the first people to do it. The problem is, let's say you're starting out, you don't have savings, you're not going to make it. If you want to make it in real estate, you have to have rich parents or a lot of money saved up. I had, my parents were willing to help me if anything, and I have money saved up already. So, yo, I was taking the train everywhere, and that's not going to help you. So a lot of people, what they do is they have cars and they'll have an assistant. Because in New York, there's really nowhere you could park. So what they'll do is they go to the apartment, they have their assistant wait in the car while they go upstairs real quick, take photos, and then they're out. Someone like me, by the time I would get there by train or by bus, 100 people already been there. So you definitely want to have a car and an assistant. If you don't, you definitely want to have money to take cabs, even though that's going to add up. And if you're not making money, you're just losing money. So I'm telling you, if you're getting into real estate and you have a family and kids that depend on you, this is not for you. You're not going to make money. You're only going to lose money. The only way to make money in this is to either be very well connected or to have rich parents. Yeah, but actually both. So what I chose to do, and this is, I think, the best thing I could have done. Instead of going to the nicest apartments and the nicest neighborhoods, I went to the hood. I literally started looking at places where I knew none of these other white people were going to go. Like Brownsville first it was Queens. It was a really bad neighborhood, but it was a nice apartment. Bro, I went to show it to someone. They wanted it. As soon as I went to go do the paperwork, once I put the paperwork in, that's when they told me someone else put it in an hour before me. So but it wasn't up to me. I literally did it as soon as I got the green light. The best thing to do if you're a real estate agent is before they even think they want it, start doing the paperwork, which takes hours. So unless you have an assistant, you're going to have to go back to the office, start doing that, which prevents you from showing other apartments. Okay, so let's say you got 10 ads up with a bunch of photos. So somebody calls you and go, hi, I really want to see this apartment. The best thing to do is to say, oh, okay, well, what are you actually looking for? They'll say 2-bedroom, let's say 1 bathroom with like a doorman. Like they're very specific. And I am too. Like if I'm buying an apartment, I need a doorman no matter what. I've never lived in a place where you could just get in the building. That's crazy. No. The building I live in now, you have to go through a doorman. And the purpose of it is not safety, because in reality, they're not here to protect me. They're not security. If somebody comes at them they're not risking their life for me. I promise you, the reason I need a doorman is my packages. You know how people's packages get lost? Stolen? That doesn't happen to me unless it's at the post office. The last time I had something stolen, I bought my parents phones last year and they just never came. And when I called Apple, they told me that basically somebody in the post office stole the phones and is using them now. So I'm like, okay, well, that's great. But I don't have my packages stolen ever. Some people, they don't really care about a doorman because it is an extra couple of $1,000, I think, or 100. I don't know, but you're paying way more to have a doorman, let's just say. I just don't see myself living in New York or Miami, but especially New York without a doorman. Nah. The cons of having a doorman, though, and to me, this is annoying. I have to say hello. Like, there's days where you're having a really bad day and you just don't feel like even seeing anyone or talking to anyone. No matter what, they see me and they're like, hey, so happy to see me. And I'm not always in the mood to be, hey. So I'm like, hey. And inside I'm like, so that's the only bad thing about having a doorman. Sometimes you just want to not see anyone, just go to the store, come back. I used to be able to do that in Brooklyn. If you don't want to see your doorman, I would just walk through the back, go to the deli, come back. I wouldn't even run into anybody. Here, yeah, you don't have that choice. Okay. Okay, so I Just got a text. Okay, so you ask them what they actually want. Okay, so let's say they say 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom with a doorman in this neighborhood, or a lot of times people will say, I want to be close to the A line, or I want to be close to the Q line. Like, let's say you live in 145th Street, you don't feel like walking 10 blocks to the train. Imagine if you could live 2 blocks away from the train. And especially what I'd rather not do is walk 3 avenues, because an avenue in New York is like 3 streets. You know, like it's first 14th Street and then 6th Avenue. When I tell you, avenues are way worse. So let's say I have to get from on the east side from 20th to 70th. Way easier than having to get across town from west side to east side. Yeah. So you need to be so good at this that you could name 10 apartments off the top of your head. Like, oh, okay, I know an apartment that you would love right over on 17th and 2nd. Or this one and that. I don't know. Like, you have to just already have apartments in your head that you're ready to show them right then and there. So let's say we link up just to see one apartment. I need to show you at least 10 for you to be able to pick one. And people are very picky, especially in New York. They think it's like that there's an apartment for $2,000 that's 3 bedrooms and with a laundry and, you know, just all the bells and whistles. It doesn't exist. The worst thing that could happen is you could show a person 10 apartments and they don't want none of them. And then they meet someone like me. So this is what I always also started doing. This is a good strategy. Don't be the first real estate agent that shows anybody an apartment. Let's say a person, like sometimes I've had situations where I showed a person an apartment, they just wanted it and that was it. I'm very decisive. You show me 3 apartments, I'll pick one of them. Like, I'll just pick whichever one feels home to me. And I'm never doing that again, but whatever. Some people, they need to see everything before they make a decision. I think the best thing to do is when you first meet someone, ask them, have you seen any apartments yet? And if they say yes, ask them which ones have you seen so that you could cross those out of your mind automatically. You don't want to show them the same apartment. You want to show them that you have access to apartments that no one else knows about. That it's like, you know, meanwhile, we all have access to the same information. It's all about who's just going to get to it quicker. So, yeah. So either I could show you 10 apartments, you pick one, or I could show you one apartment, you might love it. It's just perfect. Or I've had situations where another person has shown you 1,000,000 apartments, use their money to take cabs from apartment to apartment in order to make the client comfortable. But remember, they're not really your clients until they pay you. And you're not getting paid until a lease is signed. So you could be literally spending 20 here, 40 here, 30 here, taking them to see 1,000,000 apartments, and then they don't like none of them. Next thing you know, they meet someone like me and I go, yeah, which ones have you seen? And whatever they've seen, I'll find 1,000,000 other apartments they haven't seen yet. And we're going to go see those. The best thing to do is to show them the worst apartments at first, then something way better, and then again, something way better, but out of their price range. A lot of times people will spend the money. They don't want to, but they will if it's something that's worth it. I wouldn't because I know how real estate works. And yeah. So, okay. You show a person decides that they want the apartment. Like I said before, if someone else puts the paperwork in first, then you're out. It's like nobody cares. But also, let's say they get the apartment, they love it. Now you made a sale or you did a rental agreement. So if it's for 1 year, and my suggestion would be to keep in touch with these people. And I've had people tell me before, either keep everybody's address, maybe send them like either Christmas cards or pens or something to remind them of you like all the time. really not great at that. I really like to be one of those people that would just like make the sale and then keep it moving to the next sale. But in reality, it is good to keep your clients. Like a lot of times, and this is what a lot of business, even the business I'm in now, a lot of times I get hired because of someone else's word of mouth. So in real estate, think about it. If I needed something right now, I'll ask somebody I trust, like, hey, do you know a really good real estate agent? And everybody has someone who they're friends with. And it doesn't hurt to have a friend who's a real estate agent. Like my friend, she makes extra money on the side from sending girls who do this over to him as recommendations, and he'll give her like a percentage of whatever he makes. If you live in New York, a sale will take a couple of months. So first of all, if a person's trying to decide on a home, they're very, very particular and they take their time. Like I think maybe it'll take like months to find the right apartment. And then in order to do the paperwork to get a sale through, it takes months to do that. So if you're a real estate agent in New York, my suggestion to you would be to do a lot of rentals. That's how I started. That's how I made most of my money, is because it was quicker. It takes a few days. So what I did was, like I said before, I found a neighborhood a lot of people were too scared to go to. So I found a building in Brownsville, and the landlord, this was interesting. He gave me pretty much the whole building. And he said, the only thing is I don't want lawyers and I don't want cops. And I remember thinking, why would you not want a lawyer or a cop? Like lawyers pay, right? Because lawyers have money. Now that I'm older, I understand why he didn't want lawyers. So having a lawyer rent your apartment is the worst because they know the laws. If they want to just stop paying, they can because they know all the loopholes. So you definitely don't want to rent to a lawyer at all. Lawyers are really bad people. Not all of them, but yeah, some of them. And police, that I didn't understand at all because why would you not? Well, would I want to live next to a cop? Hell no. But why would you not want a cop? Like, if anything, wouldn't that make the building safer? No, I don't know. Because my first client was a drug dealer who had all his paperwork together. Let me tell you, oh my God, I'll never forget him. He had everything like in a little folder for me when I asked him. So it was what did I just call it? A street pharmacist, yes. And he was getting the apartment for his girlfriend. Let me tell you, this was in the hood, but these were very nice apartments. It was $1,200 6 years ago for a remodeled apartment. Like everything was brand new, freshly painted, and the apartment was nice. It was right across the street from a school. So for somebody, that was a great place to be, especially if your man's like coming in and out. So whatever, it was a man who I guess, yeah, so he was getting an apartment for his side chick and he was putting it under his name, which to me, that was interesting because I'm like, if I'm a drug dealer, I'm putting everything on my mom's name or my father's name, right? But would I put on my girlfriend's name? No. Would I put on my wife's name? Not if I don't trust her. Like, yo, that takes a lot of trust. Whatever. I don't know. I don't remember everything, but I do remember it was just so easy. Like he had everything I needed. And I've had a lot of people be nervous to even give me that type of information. Think about it. When you're giving in New York, when you're getting an apartment the legal way, you have to show, I don't remember exactly everything, but I think you have to show like your last 3 pay stubs. I think even more. You have to show pay stubs. They have to see how much money you make. Let's say that you lose your job tomorrow. You have to have, I think it was 20 or 30 times the rent. I think it was 30. You have to have 30 times the rent. So let's say an apartment is what, like $3,000 a month. You have to have at least $30,000 in your bank. We need your social security number. We need basically all your information. And I had somebody before tell me like, oh, like you need all that. And I'm like, I don't need it. I don't want it. they need it in order to approve you, because they want to make sure that you're not just going to stop paying. Because think about it. If I don't check your finances and I'm like, oh, let's see, let's see if she pays or not. Like, bro, you know how hard it is, like, to even get people that have money to pay, let alone getting somebody who doesn't have money to pay? Like, come on. So, and like, even looking back, that's crazy, because at the time I was dating a scammer and he was really good at scamming. And every day I remember we'd wake up, he would take me to work, or if I went to Brownsville, he would just drive me there and then just wait outside. And as soon as I was done showing, and I would do like, I think every Sunday, or I forgot what day it was, but I think I did it where I did an open house for 2 hours on a Sunday from, like, I think it was 1 to 3 or something. And he was just waiting for me every time I had to do that. And while he was waiting for me, he'd be in the car scamming. One day out of nowhere, he asked me like, yo, can I like, give me someone's info. I could do something with it and I could make money like that. And I was like, hell no. Even though at the time, and this just shows I'm never going to be in love, because I'm never going to be stupid enough to like, I think, like, in order to love someone, you have to be able to be stupid. And I'm just not able to. Like, I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to lose my license because to make like scamming easier for you. Like, and think about how messed up that is. Like, for someone to trust me with their info and then I give it to someone who's going to use it for bad. There was one person though. This man made me show him an apartment. He loved it. And then we filled out all the paperwork. I think I got him approved. And then as soon as I go to call him to let him know that I got him approved, he wasn't picking up the phone. And I was like, that's mad weird, because how hard is it to pick up the phone? That's why I'm telling you, in real estate, something will always go wrong. I wish I wrote it down to explain everything that could go wrong, but every day it's something. If it's not one thing, it's the other. I'm telling you. I call him, he's not answering. So I'm like, I was so upset because you wasted my time and pa. So when my ex did say that, like, yo, do you have anyone you could give me their info? The first thing that popped into my mind is that guy. I'm like, karma. But nah, I couldn't do it. I wanted to so bad be like, yeah, take the little folder and go, here you go. Because, hey, you didn't pick up the phone. Now it is what it is. I couldn't even do it. I wanted to, but I said, don't do it. Karma will get you. And it would have got me for sure. Because, yeah. So, anyway. So, I'm in Brownsville, and I'm renting out each apartment in this building. And that's how I met the people that I was working with. So, this guy came in. He's been doing real estate for a while. His name is Josiah. He had a girlfriend named Irene. So, they came. I don't remember if it was just to go to the open house or it was to show someone an apartment. I think they were just coming by. So he came by to just see me doing it. And Josiah saw the way I was working and said, do you want to come on my team? A lot of times people that just start out, they're not asked to go on a team because who are you? Like, you don't even know what you're doing. Why should we help you and teach you what to do? And when you're on a team, you're all helping each other. So people don't really ask you to get on their team unless you're good at what you do. And I think what it was is he saw that I had a lot of potential because I didn't know what no meant. Like, if I needed to get in an apartment, let's say you want to go show 30 West 15th Street, right? You are like, okay, where are the keys? Think about it. The keys aren't just there outside the apartment, because otherwise, do you know how many people would just like squat if the key was just sitting outside the apartment? No. So you have to get the keys from the office or from another real estate broker. Because let's say I went to go take pictures of this apartment and then I had 3 more apartments I wanted to go take pictures of. I have those keys in my possession until I get back to the office. So if I'm on the field and I see the key, if I call the office, the keys aren't there. So now I have to go, who has the keys then? So let's say they go, Anna has them. Okay, so I call Anna. You have to know all these people and have good relationships with them, which is hard because real estate agents are not good people. Let me say again. The ones I was friends with were very good people. Josiah was amazing, great person. And if I ever needed a real estate agent, he's your guy. In New York, he's amazing. But I remember a few other people on the team who were terrible people. Like, allegedly, this one person's name was Alan. And then there was a girl, I think her name was Sophia, allegedly. And Sophia was like one of those like sleep your way to the top type of people, like even though she had a boyfriend, but she had a very sexy accent. I remember that. But she was just very like jealous, and that was confusing to me because she was beautiful, but a lot of real estate agents who are women very competitive, and they're like do not trust the women. You're better off trusting the men, especially if they like you. You could use that to your advantage, but women, good luck. They're not that great anyway, to be honest. It's very rare that a woman's good at what she does. But Alan was good at being a real estate agent. He just was not a good person. And yo, like I remember, I don't nah, till this day, I'm like, yo, some people I just know not to even get close to, and that was a situation where I'm like, you see, I know not to. So my team, I mean, so what we would do is as soon as I would wake up, I go to the office, and I remember there used to be in city habitats, they had these rooms, they're called quiet rooms. So let's say if you're making a lot of money, you get your own like office, or like your desk. If you're new and you're starting out, when you get to the office, there'll be like a desk full of like 10 computers, and everyone's allowed to use them. You have to type in your name and your password, and that has all your stuff, meaning like all the pictures you took of apartments. It has all your information, all people, it's like your stuff. So you get on the computer, use it, and then you have to log out, and then the next person uses it. So I would come in the office, we do some paperwork, and then we would go and start every single day. You want to see at least 5 apartments. It's better to see 10, but every day you want to see at least 5. If you have no apartments to show, you should just be looking at apartments to see what's new on the market. And like I said before, you have to be one of the first people to see it come on the market. And if you don't have somebody who wants something like that, you have to have really good relationships with other real estate agents to see who might want it. So while you're looking at apartments, you could get a call in the middle of the day, and a person could say, hey, I really want to see this one apartment. And you don't never want to say, oh yeah, let's pick a time next week. No. What are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing today? Like if they already have a showing, let's say it's Saturday, and they're looking at apartments, and you're trying to get them tomorrow, they could already find their apartment. So it's just one of those things. I'm telling you, it's like, what's better, to be the person that showed them 10 apartments and they finally wanted the last one, or whatever. So we would go look at apartments, show apartments, and let's say like one of us was really busy. If one of us had to go do paperwork, the other people would stay out. And when I tell you, this is why real estate is not for you, do you know that you're not going to have a life anymore? If you think that being an influencer, like you have to work 24/7 to really be good at this, like you have to be, online 24/7. With real estate, it's exactly like that. Nobody cares about what you want to do. Let's say you like waking up at 8, going to the gym or eating breakfast. Oh, you could forget about that. You have to be the first person in the office ready to go. Because a lot of times if somebody else gets to the office first, there's even been times where like people show up at, like, let's say you're just walking through New York and you see, City Habitat's office, real estate. And sometimes people literally just do walk in and say, hi, I'm trying to find an apartment. And if you're just so happen to be in the office, you could just take those, and those could be your clients. You never know when you could get a client. It could either be randomly, they'll either call you because they seen your ad, or it'll be because one of the people on your team is too busy to show them. So they'll be like, hey, would you mind showing them the apartment? I'll give you a commission off of it, which they're not going to give you anyway, let me tell you, because I've had times where I've showed an apartment, but because I was late, they never told me that they ended up renting it and not giving me my percentage. But the reason I was late is because I was in 59th Street and they told me, can you be on 92nd in 10 minutes? And I said, no, I'm 30 minutes away by train at least. So if I get up right now and run, I can make it. So if you're doing real estate, forget about going to the gym. Real estate is your gym. So especially in New York, a lot of the buildings you're showing don't have elevators. So you might be showing somebody an apartment on the 8th floor and you have to walk up 8 flights of stairs. It could be 90 degrees outside. Nobody cares. I promise you. Like, also, people need you to show them apartments on days where they're free. Nobody cares about your schedule and when you'd like to show an apartment. Yeah, nobody cares about that. What people really care about is you have to be on their time. So, meaning anytime other people don't work is when you work the most. Holidays, especially, or weekends, but especially holidays. So, when other people aren't working, so let's say a person has Monday to Friday, but they get off work at like 5 and they could see an apartment at like 7, 8 at night, you have to be there. I've shown an apartment at 8 at night before. And my only suggestion would be make sure that if it's the husband coming to see an apartment, their wife is with them. I've shown an apartment to somebody before and they're like, oh, my wife has to see it and then we could go through with it. And I said, then why'd you even come? When you get a couple, and I used to get a lot of couples, the trick is never talk to the husband. Pay attention to the wife. It's her decision. He doesn't matter. Don't even look at him. If a husband comes to look at an apartment and he's like, oh yeah, now we just have to show my wife, just know you wasted your time because she's the one that needs to make the decision. A woman is the one that is going to really decide. So yeah. So I remember I showed it to him and then I had to show his wife. Then they wanted it. Thank God. But then I've had times where I've had to show apartments super early and people like to see you look nice. If you look like shit, like don't think you're going to get an apartment rented or sold ever. I used to wear a lot of like gym clothes to work, like just, all black, like either like what I'm wearing now pretty much, but just with a black hoodie on, right? Because I was always on the go. Like I could be in the gym. If I get a call, I'm literally leaving and just going where I need to go to show an apartment. And I remember one time I got there and I literally ran because I was so late and I was so disheveled. Like you could see that I was like a hot mess. They ended up not renting the apartment just because of that. Because I literally like got there and I'm all sweaty and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I'm late. And it's like I didn't look presentable. I didn't have makeup on, which you don't need to really have makeup on, especially if you're showing couples apartments. Like you don't want to look nice. Like you're not trying to have your boobs out or have your butt out. You just want to look presentable and clean and just like you got it all together. Because personally, would I allow a real estate agent to do my paperwork if they look like they can't get it right, even with their outfit or just by looking presentable? Like, you're going to mess something up. So the deal's not going to go through because you're going to mess it up just because I didn't look presentable. So in reality, this is what you need to do to be successful. Wake up at 6 in the morning, get dressed, just look nice. Don't try to look sexy. Be covered up, look respectable, speak, with respect. Don't talk with, like I had to put on a whole different voice when I used to do real estate because I can't talk like this. So I had to like, hello, hi, how are you doing today? I dead ass. It hurts me to speak like that, but I didn't have a choice. So how long have I been? Oh, got it. Okay. So what else? Why? I just keep thinking of a million reasons why a person wouldn't be good, but yeah. So wake up at 6, but in reality, wake up at 5 in the morning. You want to get to the office no later than 8, and even 8's a little like late, but yeah, at least by 8, you want to get to the office, look presentable, and just be ready to leave at any second. Definitely get some paperwork done, start looking at apartments. If you get a call to show something, try to show it as soon as possible. Either get them after work or before work the next day, if not, the weekend. You definitely want to make the most out of your weekends because remember, you're working more when other people are off. So I think every holiday I pretty much worked. Yeah, like on a Thanksgiving is a great time to show an apartment. No one else is outside, like no one else is looking at these things. And holidays, a lot of people like to take off. So that's probably why even now I work on holidays, especially is because I like to know that I'm getting things done even when other people aren't. So yeah, and even if you do all those things, if let's say I think they do every 3 months or once a month, I don't remember exactly, but every quarter probably they check to see how much money you've made. And let's say you don't make enough money per month, then they're able to drop you because when they first even allow you to come on, you know that you could get fired at any minute. If you're not making money, they don't want to keep you because it doesn't make them look good to keep somebody that's not doing no numbers. So if you get fired, then you could always go to another agency and same thing. I think you pay it's like 500 or something for sign up to get your license. Yeah, I think it's you pay something for them to sponsor you, meaning like you because you can't get your license until you have a place that you're gonna actually practice real estate. And yeah, I wish I remembered everything, but the thing is the rules do change. So every 2 years you got to redo your license and you have to do continued education because every 2 years, let's say like some laws change, you have to be up to date. So every 2 years, no matter what, you have to renew your license. And I remember my first time renewing my license, I was so proud of myself because I'm like, yo, I did it. And then I renewed it again. And then that's when I decided to start doing social media. I was really good at real estate, but the thing is, I think you have to love what you do. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you need to be doing it. But for someone that thinks it's going to be easy, don't even waste your time. You're going to just lose money and I don't know what you're gonna really gain from it. Having a real estate license is great in general, because let's say right now I wanted to buy a property or even sell a property, it wouldn't hurt to have a real estate license because I'll get a percentage of it. I could get a real estate agent and be like, hey, I will let you sell my house, but if you do, I need a percentage. And a lot of times people will agree because giving away a percentage is better than not getting anything. But for all the work you do as a real estate agent, you really don't want to give up any percentages because people feel like, oh, why do I have to pay? And it's like, because you don't want to do it yourself. You definitely don't. But yeah. And I'm only saying this, listen, if you listened to this and said, okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna do it anyway, then there's nothing I could say. For a person who knows like it's gonna be hard, I got this. You have to be so sure of yourself. You have to just give your life. I'm telling you, like, forget about dating, forget about looking for a boyfriend. Like, if you have a relationship, forget about giving them time or, like, Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest problems actually in my friend's relationship is that he was always working. And if you're not going to be successful. You pretty much can't have a life. You can't have a social life. Your social life is about real estate. Like any parties you go to is probably networking events. You're around a lot of other people that do what you do, or you're hanging out with a lot of other people that do it. I think at the time I was talking to somebody who their their parents owned like the whole Manhattan. He was like a billionaire, and yeah, when I was doing real estate, and that was around the time when I met the scammer. And of course, in true Maya sense, am I going to talk to the billionaire or the scammer from Brooklyn? Obviously, the scammer, duh, because the hell. No, but I think, yeah, my reason was because he was a terrible person. Yeah. It was basically somebody whose parents like owned all of Manhattan, and he would always go to real estate parties to try to meet girls, that do real estate because let's say he wants to like date you, he would like give you a building to rent for him. Like he'll be like, "Oh, like I need you to rent all my apartments out. I'll give it to you specifically because he just thinks you're cute." So I just remember thinking he was a really terrible person and racist, and that's part of the reason why I ended up going with the scammer. Doesn't really matter. That doesn't matter. The point is, it's you're pretty much just going to be around that all the time. And think about it: if you're just really trying to work hard and do everything the right way, and then there's going to be some girl that comes along just because she sleeps with a guy that owns a building, she'll get the job over you. For me, I never believed that you could sleep your way to the top. I think you could only sleep your way to the bottom. And anytime I feel like a person has no morals within their business, I really don't want to have no parts of it anyway because I don't want to be around for when it crashes. And my thing is, I wouldn't date a guy unless I would date you broke. Like, I have to look at you and say, if he was dead broke and had nothing going for himself, would I still talk to him? If the answer is no, then goodbye. So, I don't even know what happened to him. But, yeah, pretty much my advice would be the only person I would suggest to get a real estate license to is, let's say you're just getting out of high school, you just graduated, you don't really know where you want to go to college, you don't really think college is for you. I would suggest you get a real estate license at 18. Had I gotten it then, very, very different. In real estate, you need to know wherever you live, you have to know it like the back of your hand, and you have to know all the rules, and you need a lot of experience. Whatever they teach you in class, it's not going to help you in real life at all. They're teaching you literally how to build a house, what materials to use. Like, they're teaching you about laws. They're not teaching you about what to do if you get to an apartment and the key won't fit in the door. I've had a situation where I had literally to climb through a window to show an apartment. It was on the first floor. But I would have broke that door down if I had to and replaced it just to show it. Because, yeah, you can't do real estate if you give up easily. Like, if you get to an apartment and they give you the key and it's not fitting in the door and you're like, oh, well, no, I will call everybody until I find the right keys. Like, you got to have that type of attitude of I'm not giving up. You have to eat as you go. I remember I used to always have power bars on me because you're forgetting to eat because you're working all day. Which is a good thing if you're constantly walking up the stairs and you're doing a lot of walking. So real estate in Florida has to be very different because in Florida, I guess everybody has a car here, and you're showing more houses or apartments, and everything's super spaced out. So it's probably harder to show 10 apartments in one day. You might be able to show one or two in one day. If you're showing houses, probably one a day. I can't even imagine like what it's like to be a real estate agent here now. Like during the pandemic, I'm not gonna lie, if you had a real estate license, you could have gotten lucky. Everybody was moving here, so everybody was just looking for what was available. And everything is so expensive, but that doesn't matter because at the time, everybody's just started having money. Think about it. All these girls that used to dance now are making 100K a week. So they're getting, oh, I need an apartment that's like 20,000 a month, like 15, 20,000. Like they're getting all these big extravagant apartments that they don't need, wasting like mad money on Chanel and designer. And now that they're not making barely anything, now it's like, damn, what am I gonna do now? Like nobody wants to downsize, right? Nobody wants to admit that now they don't know what to do. What is that? Live will end in 4:56. And it's a bunch of ads. I don't understand this. Unable to verify. Oh my God. Oh, that's mad weird that TikTok does that now. So like I was saying, a lot of girls I guess feel like, they don't want to downsize, and now everyone's getting on like OFTV. Y'all should have been doing that, to be honest. Like if you're just starting to think about it now, it's kind of little too late. My suggestion would be, if you're still doing this, if you want to save your shit, then get on Plug Talk, or no, that's pretty much it. If you get on Plug Talk, I've seen a lot of girls' pages jump back up. OFTV, that's only helping really if you're consistently getting promoted, or you have to just go viral, or you want to go live on TikTok every day, which for me is like torture because TikTok is one of the worst things to be invented, in my opinion. But hey, who am I? So a lot of girls right now that this is done for them, they're either already like a full-blown corn star, or they're looking for another job that's going to pay them exactly the same. Yeah, real estate is a job that you can make a lot of money. And like my father says, listen, who would I rather have show me an apartment? A good-looking woman or an old man? Of course, a woman. But who do you trust more? The old man. So stop it. Of course, you want the woman to show you if she's knowledgeable at what she's speaking about, which is rare. So if you're not good at talking, if you're not very personable, if you're not just, like I said before, organized, you're not going to be good at this. You don't know that you need to be up from 6 a.m. and your last email every single day you're going to be sending will be around 2 in the morning, if not 3. I used to literally be out at dinner sending emails till 2, 3 in the morning. And like a lot of times people will call you or email you, and I'm always emailing people apartments or photos. And the difference between me and other agents is people used to love posting pictures of apartments that made the apartment look way nicer than what it was. And that's what you're supposed to do. You have to make people want to go see this apartment. What I would do is I would take normal photos. Like my photos would make it look like the way it really looked like in real life. Like I'm not here to lie to you, because same thing with a good looking woman. Let's say I take a photo and I Photoshop it, and then you come see me and you're like, whoa, you don't even look like that. So that was how I thought about the apartments. I'm not going to like catfish you an apartment, like make it look mad nice, and then you get there and it's terrible. No, I'm going to show you what it really is. And there were times where I didn't feel like going and showing people the apartment because it was in Queens, somewhere very hard to get to by car or by train. So what I did was I started literally recording myself walking through the apartment. I'm just going to record the walkthrough, walk very slowly, show the apartment, and show what it really is. They might not like it. They might not call you again, but would you rather they have linked up with you, made you show them the apartment, and they didn't like it? Now you just wasted your whole day that you could have been showing an apartment to someone else who would have took it. Um, and like I said before, organized, you know, like my father says, listen, who would I rather have show me an apartment? A good looking woman or a old man? Of course, a woman. But who do you trust more? The old man. So but you really never know. I think my biggest question was always when I would rent to people with kids. So I remember this one woman, she really liked the apartment and she was going to move in with her husband and two kids, but they didn't come with her. She just came alone, thank God. Um, and I remember thinking, damn, so you move every year? You're telling me once a year you do this? Like, that's crazy to me because when I rented, I was like, I wish I could have rented for 5 years. Like, I like consistency. I like to be in the same spot, and I like to make my home really mine. And you can't do that in a year. Like, it takes me maybe a year to just get comfortable. But yo, when I was renting, I was getting anxiety 6 months into it, just thinking like 6 months from now, I have to leave. Like, what do I do? Like, I have to start looking for another apartment. At the time, I'm renting. So once my lease was up, I went back to New York for the summer. I was there for like, yeah, from May, June, July, August, September, October, I think is when I came back to Miami. And I was looking at apartments. There was one apartment. I had to be in this area because of my parents. There was one that was $250,000 over what I wanted to pay. But the apartment was beautiful. It was perfect. It was in the same building that I ended up in, but I didn't want to even be in this building. But this apartment, I think it was 3 bedroom or two. No, this one was it 2 or 3? I think it was a 3 bedroom, but it was just different from this one. This is like the standard. This is the same way my parents' apartment is, but that one it was on an angle, so you didn't see. Like, look, you could either see the beach or you could see the city. So I have the city view. I really rather get the beach view, but I'm not paying an extra 100,000 for that. Cause in the morning you get to look in the beach, but at nighttime it's dark. The city though, you get both views. You get day and nighttime. And at night it's like it lits up. But this particular apartment, it was angled to where you see more like both. You're on the side of the building, so you could either look at the beach or you could look at the city. And the balcony was a wraparound, and it was just like mad space, like just open space. So that's why I'm saying it couldn't have been a 2 bedroom because it was bigger than this, I think. And this is a 3 bedroom, but it was just different. I don't know. But I wasn't willing to pay that extra 250,000. I was like, nah, I could spend that on other things. So as much as I wanted that apartment, I was really like contemplating for a minute, like, and trying to hint at the guy that was selling it because the owner was selling it himself. I was like, let me know if you're thinking about going, but knowing what I want to come down 250 in price, no. Not if someone else might buy it, especially right now. Everyone's trying to move here. So it would have been dumb for him to go down for me. But hey, next thing you know, my father calls me and said, there's an apartment, also 3 bedroom, same thing as ours, but you have to go see it right now. And I'm like, I wasn't even excited because the building it was in. But when I came here, oh man, I looked at this and I said, this is me. It was at the price I wanted and it has everything. And I'm like, I can't rent anymore. Being a renter and buying are two different things. So buying is, now that I'm an owner, I really wish I wasn't for many reasons. Okay. So after I bought, obviously you pay tax. So, before I was paying like 4,000 when I first moved here and I was renting. The apartment that I got should have been 5,500 in rent, but I got it at 4,000 because when they told me go look at it at the time, as soon as I seen it, it was a penthouse, and the apartment I just seen on the 15th floor, they raised it in price, and the apartment was horrible. They raised it to 5,000 and it was on the 15th floor. But next thing you know, they're showing me an apartment that's on the penthouse for 4,000 and a 3-bedroom that's beautiful, marble, everything. You could tell it was Russian people that remodeled it. So I said to them, because they told me the owners are in Canada and they're Russian Jews. The pandemic, like I think in Canada you had to what was that called when you had to hibernate for 2 weeks? They didn't feel like doing that, so they said we just want to rent for the next year till the pandemic finishes. So right away when I seen the apartment, I said, tell them I'll take it right now. I will pay a year in advance, but they have 24 hours to decide. And who's going to say no to somebody willing to pay a year in advance? You're not going to say no. If anything, you should have given me a discount. But I was scared to ask for, I wanted to get it down to 3,800, but I'll pay it in advance. But they advised me not to do that. They said, like, you could do it, but, and I was like, you know what, you're right. So I just said, I'll take it right now. But so he agreed. And that's where they messed up. He said to me, okay, we'll do it, but you have to give us like 4,000 up front, like this week, so we know you're not gonna back out of the deal. I said, no problem. So in the first week, I gave them 4,000 for as a security before we even, I think, did everything because I was just like, I want this apartment. As soon as I handed them over the money, they found out that they could be renting their apartment for 6,000. Think about it. Every apartment was worth 4,000 at the time, and you could only really charge based on what everyone else is paying. But if you're renting and all of a sudden the demand gets higher and people want to get in the building, you could charge more. Kind of like when you're selling Percocet on the street. Like Percocets are, I think in Brooklyn, they go $1 per milligram if you really want to hustle. I've seen people sell a perk for $20, a 10 milligram. But if there's a shortage, I could sell them for $30 each. Who's gonna not pay? Okay, so that's how I guess real estate works. So if I'm seeing all these apartments, they're all 4,000, but then out of nowhere, the apartment on the 15th floor decides they want 5,000. The penthouse really could have said, oh, yeah, we're going to charge 5,500 a month, or they really should have did 6,000 because it's the penthouse. Are you kidding me? This has been going on for months. This always happens to me. So the problem is this building has 3 penthouses. Each, so it's 3 buildings, right? Tower 1, 2, and 3. My parents live in Tower 1. I live in Tower 3 now. So in Tower 1, I'm like waiting for them to start again. No? Okay. I literally be forgetting what I'm talking about when I get distracted. So what was I saying? Okay, so yeah, I'm living there. It's 4,000 a month, but I paid in advance. The problem was he didn't want to do any repairs. So let's say something would get broken, or I think I have mold. Like I found out, basically I started losing my voice and I didn't know what it was because like if I drink a lot of like frozen drinks, then my voice starts going. Like I can't drink nothing cold. But it was like, I realized it was from the mold. And a lot of apartments here have mold in the bathrooms because we're right by the ocean. So you just got to get mold, like get rid of the mold, whatever, mold spray, or you have to have someone come in and do it. At the time, I had a repairman come and fix everything that needed to be repaired, which I'm not too picky. I don't ask for a lot. And the owner literally said to me, I'm not doing that. Like, you got a great price on this apartment. But I'm like, sir, but that's not how this works. If you rent your apartment to somebody, you have to pay for the repairs or you're in breach of contract. So now I'm older. I understand why you wouldn't want to like rent your apartment to a lawyer. But I think what you really don't want to do is rent your apartment to someone who used to do real estate either, because they know the tricks. And also, even though every state has different laws. Oh man. So the bad thing about renting your apartment for a year is as soon as my lease was done, like moving was such a headache. Buying an apartment, oh man. So when I bought this one, amazing. I think the best investment you can make is a roof over your head. The problem is it could also be the worst because let's say you're putting money into real estate and you go to rent your apartment to somebody and they don't feel like paying. Some states will literally let them live there for months and there's nothing you could do if you try to throw their stuff out. So that's what happened with me. The owner that rented their apartment to me, they didn't want to give me my security deposit back at all. So I'm like, okay, I'll just stay an extra 30 days. They went to court right away and try to put like paper on my door saying, I'm getting evicted, which I'm not. They called the police to tell the police to get me out. And literally the police told him, sir, we can't. There's nothing you could do legally. It's her apartment. If you touch anything in that apartment or try to throw it out or get it out of the apartment, or if you try to change the locks, she will own this apartment. Like she could sue you and will win. And I've seen people, like do that. So I really get nervous renting one of my properties to somebody because what if you just don't want to pay? For me, I was like, bro, everything I do is out the principle. So if somebody like wants to keep my security deposit, sweetie, I'll just stay for an extra 30 days and I will literally leave the day. And that's what I did. But bro, all you really had to do was just give me my deposit back. Nothing was broken. If anything, the apartment was in better condition when I returned it. Now being an owner, the only good thing is they can't kick me out. I mean, I'm sure they can, like if I did some crazy stuff, but I really don't think you can because I have a friend who, like, I know the rule is you can't, if you're a felon, you can't live here. My friend's husband's a felon. He used to sell drugs back in the day. Like, stop it, bro. Like, they can't get him out. If they were renting, then yes, they could have got him out. But because they own and they've been here for so long, it would really it would be hard to get them out, especially they're good people. So it's like, come on, like, and they have kids. Okay, so as an owner, so let's say my rent is, well, not rent, maintenance, because I bought it. Let's pretend it's 2,500, which it's more. I think it's like three something now. Everything's getting more expensive. It's so weird. I would think by having my own, I was saving money. You're not saving money either way. So me having an apartment, I think once a year, last year, what did I pay? 18,000 for taxes. That's just for owning the property. Yeah, so no matter what, you have to pay maintenance. And then out of nowhere this year, and I'm like, of course they do it the year I decide to become an owner. They started charging people. Basically, they decided to do some repairs by my parents' building. So everyone has to pay, and you pay per what your square footage is. So I had to pay, I forgot what it's called, not a surcharge, but like a fee out of nowhere that they're charging everybody. I'm like, I wish I could find what it was called again. I forgot what it's called. Basically just, what is it called? Because I even asked my, oh, I know what to do. So let me go to my real estate agent. Okay, here we go. My building made us pay special assessment fees. Is that a write-off? She said, up to 25% home office. So basically, if you do what I do, I consider my home as an office, basically. Now, you can't write all of it off, but some, I think, yeah, like 25%. Same thing with car. I think, you write off like 25% because they're assuming you're using your car for personal things too, but this is how much you could get off when it comes to taxes. Oh man, living here is like maintenance, special assessment for me was $11,000. It was like 10 something. My parents own also a 3 bedroom, so that was also 10,000 for them. And then they also have a 1 bedroom that they're renting out, which that was 6,000. I paid all of it. I literally came in the office and I was like, what about the people that don't have money? What are they gonna do? And this is the people in the office were like, who know? But I find that so messed up because I'm like, bro, imagine you're 80, you're living off of your retirement. Whatever money you have, you're not gonna make any more because who wants to work at 80? Let's say out of nowhere, they just like hand over 10,000. And it's like, why? I would think the maintenance pays for all the repairs. No. The maintenance pays for having a doorman, and having security who doesn't secure anything, let me tell you. But yeah, so being an owner, I feel better, I guess, because my money is not just going into just the toilet. I own it. But I guess the only good thing is that I don't have to leave every year and move, because that would be such a headache. But yeah, I don't know how long I've been going for. Let me check. I think I could do it here. And this is would be such a headache. Let's see. An hour 16. Okay, lit. Where I stayed on the same exact subject. For me, that's big. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't think that's a big deal. For me, that's a big deal. I love changing the subject every 2 minutes. So let's see. Let me read some of the comments. Jeff, hi, how are you? Let's get them likes up and share and comment. And her channel is cool. Thank you. Archie Lewis, you are beautiful. Thanks, Archie. Quiet Quest, good for you. Gentrification alert. KOT remix. He's asking what my thing is. It is DamnHomie11. So all my socials are DamnHomieShow or DamnHomie11. And my TikTok's DamnMaya11 because DamnHomie11 got deleted. And Maya is spelled MYA. Rares said you have 4 people live. Well, last time I had 1 person. Like I said before, guys, I don't care if it's 1 person watching me, 2 people. I don't give up because I know, same thing with Instagram. It took me a year and look at me now. Same thing with YouTube. I'm not worried. I have friends who literally been doing this for years and they have mad followers on their channel and their channel's dying. So, that's why I don't feel bad posting and seeing 200 views, 100 views, because you can't push me into thinking I'm going to fail with anything. I'm not. It just takes a lot of determination and consistency. If you're not consistent, goodbye. Oh, and you can't have a life. Dexter said, yo, what up? How are you doing, girl? Maya, Wax Boy said, call DamnHomie. I have another number. I should give you guys my number and just let you call me to ask me stuff. But where do I don't even know what that number is, to be honest. I think the only people that have that number is my homeboy that I work with, and my ex has that number, but he never uses it. Like, if I don't pick up my main number, he knows, like, I'm just not talking to you. That's a Lambo, money making Andy. And then PC said ear. I like to spell it ear like that. So I just commented from my YouTube Finsta. So I have my YouTube, and then I have the YouTube where I actually watch stuff. And that's the one where I don't have any commercials. Oh my God. There's been so many times where I just want to log out of my main page and I'm like, bro, I'm so tired of seeing these ads, like especially watching academics and you're high as hell. The last thing you want to see is a commercial out of nowhere when you're like, no, I'm listening to the Diddy stuff. So yeah. So from now on, every day I'm going to start going live at 3 o'clock. I'm going to either give advice or I'm going to teach you guys Russian. So in the previous live, if you want to check that out, I started by teaching people how to say hello in Russian and why you say hi to your friends differently than you do someone who you respect or somebody who's older than you. But I couldn't stick to one subject. So I told myself that for the next 30 days, I'm going to push myself to go live every single day for at least an hour and try to stick to one subject. I got to get better at just not getting so distracted easily and maybe start writing down some notes to keep myself organized, because there's been times where I'm in the middle of telling a story and I'll literally forget about what I was even saying and start like either talking about something I already mentioned or moving past a lot of important keys, which I don't need to do that. So yeah, every day I'm going to start going live at 3 and I'm doing a challenge for the next 30 days. I'm trying to do 2 a days in the gym or 1 a day, but I have to be in the gym for at least 2 hours. If I'm too tired, then I got to go back. If I make it a whole 3 hours, then I'm good, which I don't think I'm going to be doing that. So yeah, I'm doing the challenge for the next 30 days, no alcohol. I'm trying to do no meat. I'm trying to go vegan. So let's see if I could do it. PC said, can you pop in this chat? You may recognize name from many requests. Yes, of course. I'm going to pop in there, but I want to do it in a second. I didn't want to go in there now. Wait, what is your actual name though? Is it the same exact name? Then I could actually. What am I talking about? So let's go to my spicy site. Statements. Okay. Messages. Okay. So PC. What is your name on the website? I'm in here now, so if you did DM me, I should see it right now. Excuse me. So the last people I've responded to were VIP Phil, John from LI, Efrain, Tan, Reese. Yeah, I don't see you, so you gotta tell me where you at. Just sent ear. Let me see. People want to see if I really, I'm telling you, I check my own messages. I see you. Oh, that's you? And I just responded. I need you to confirm that I actually do respond to my own things. Oh, that really is you. Okay, lit. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, you actually buy a lot of content. So I wanted to do this recently. Remember when what's her name? Ruby Rose met with the guy who like spent like 30K on her. I'm like, I know I have one of those, like, or 2 of those that ear that have spent so much money because there's a few specific names that I hear like every week they get customs no matter what. It's on my list. And my favorite thing to do is probably JOI. If you want to Google what that means, it's instructions on how to, I don't know how else I could say it. But I like to do it in Russian because I feel like I sound way sexier in Russian and I'm way funnier in Russian. I don't know. It's easier to me. Because I feel like when I speak in English, I say crazy stuff like And in my own personal life, like if I'm having intercourse, I'll say crazy shit. So if I want to say something insane and I don't want you to think I'm insane, I'll just say it in Russian. No alcohol or meat is tough. Man, no chicken especially for me is tough. No fish because I need fish to live. Like, and you could still be healthy eating fish, but I'm telling you, if you cut out fish and meat and chicken, right away I lose weight. But that's the problem. I feel like I get way too skinny if I'm not eating chicken. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I did over an hour. I did another hour right before I did this one. So for the next 30 days, I'm making this a challenge. I'm going to really push myself to work every single day and see if I could do it. By October 30th, I should have done 30 lives by now, at least. And if I haven't, hold me to it. Every single day, I should be on live at 3. Halloween, once Halloween comes, I'm out of here. I don't care. Once Halloween comes, I want to spend it here. And then we're going straight to New York. We're going to Atlanta. We're going back to LA. I still have a whole suitcase in LA with all my Fendi and a bunch of Chanel stuff. Yo, I have a jacket that I left over there. And I could have been just had the case mailed to me. It's not even that expensive, but I'm afraid that it's gonna get lost because I have a lot of designer. So if I was working at the mail place and I just seen the suitcase, even the suitcase itself looks nice. So it looks like there will be some stuff in there. It doesn't look like a terrible suitcase. Once you open it, oh man, it's all new Fendi. I bought so much new Nike stuff that I haven't even worn. I have, oh man, tripods, a mirror. I have everything but makeup over there because what I'll do is I just book a makeup artist anytime I come out there and it gets written off your taxes anyway and it's for work, so who cares? And I got to pay that money regardless to the IRS, so why not use it on myself? But not. October 31st is my last day in Miami. I'm telling you, I'm out of here. I have a hotel booked for the 7th actually. And I've been telling myself I'd rather go to LA on Hood Day. Like the day it's like Bounty Hunter Hood Day. That's when I want to be out there. Like that's what I really want to go. October, I want to go right now because there are so many people I want to work with. And I think I want to just wait till November just because I want to prove to myself that I could do this. I love, taking time and having days where I just don't do anything because sometimes you need those days where you just like lay in bed, do nothing, just like get some rest and you have to recharge, But I'm one of those people, I need to be on a schedule. And if I have nothing to do, I go crazy. Like I actually like being busy. So I'm going to have you guys hold me to it. So if you ever don't see me on live, say something. Go to my Instagram and say, why the hell are you not here? So yeah. If you haven't, we need punishment. If I haven't, what? Wait, I'm confused. Oh man. And yo, look, as soon as I go to YouTube to see what else is there, like what else I could watch, maybe the first thing that pops up is this girl, story time, how I ended up being pimped out.
What you talking back for? So he muffs my head into the wall, y'all. He muffed me into the. So this is.
Oh, I gotta start doing that. I just gotta start having videos of my stories and like start the story off with like, and he was putting my head through a wall. He was beating me so bad. Next thing you know, tring, tring, tring. Welcome to the Damn Homie Show. But damn, there's so many stories. Like, I think, yeah, that's what I'm about to start doing. I'm about to start doing videos on story time. I'm looking at my messages. I really prefer not to answer the messages while I'm on live because if I say any wrong thing, one word could get my whole shit taken down. So I'm okay. I like doing this separately. So what I do is every day I wake up, same thing as answering a good morning text. You want to get on your messages, you want to throughout the day check them like you would anything. And I have 3 days a week where I actually film. And some days I feel like I don't really like doing nothing else. Like I really prefer to just have a day where I film and don't do nothing else. But yeah, because you gotta just, you know, same way when I was filming on Instagram and having TikTok on the side, that's how I got banned off TikTok. The rules are different from each app. Some apps allow you to say whatever you want, some apps don't. So you definitely want to make sure you're not. Okay, I'm about to start answering back my messages. Yeah, I'm about to start answering. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow at 3 giving you more advice